Hello, my name is Johan Falk. I work for NodeOne Scandinavia. We work with Drupal, which is a pretty cool system for building websites. And this is a screencast series, the first episode in screencast series about the rules framework. Before going into that, I want to show you a few things here at the NodeOne website. This is a commercial part of this screencast. I'm not going to try to sell you anything. I'm just going to show you what you can find. This is NodeOne website. This is Pontus, a colleague. He's a cool guy. He's really active in the Swedish community and pretty active in the international community as well. This is Drupal, by the way. Up here you find the Learn Drupal section of the site, where we have the Drupal learning library full with good stuff if you want to learn Drupal. I think we're up to maybe 13 different series of stuff that you can learn. And mostly configuration, but also some coding and some theming for Drupal 6 right now, nothing for Drupal 7. Right. We also have a cool book, Drupal 7 The Essentials, that you can get from your local Amazon store. Try it out. I wrote it myself, so it really should be a good book then, right? Okay, we're going to talk about rules in this screencast series. Rules is a framework. One of the most used ones is like module number 38 or something in the list of most popular modules, containing several thousands of modules for Drupal. It's a big one. It will help you to decrease the need for custom coding. You can replace quite a few of the contributed modules for Drupal as well if you know how to use rules. It is right now at release candidate 1. Release candidate 1 has a pretty nasty bug in it, so I'm using beta 3 on the sandbox site we're going to look at pretty soon. But this is a big module. It's treated very seriously. You can see that by the very fact that they have release candidates instead of just making it stable versions and things like that. Yeah, I'm gonna create a link from these screencasts to an issue for rules where you can give credit to the module maintainers. They put a lot of time into this module, this project, and just writing a comment saying, hey, I like your module, thanks for contributing it, is something that is pretty decent to do and will make them happy. So consider doing that, please. Right, the rules module depends on the entity API module. If you want to use rules, you have to download this one as well, as we will see. This is a real cool module if you want to work with entities in Drupal in a more, homogenic way, I guess. It wraps a lot of things around the standard entities in Drupal that hopefully, or maybe, most likely, will get into Drupal 8 in one way, one shape or another. Right, here's the sandbox site that we're going to use in quite a few screencasts. I think we'll end up between 15 and 20 screencasts in this series, which is quite a few. I'm really happy that I finally got the time to do this. The rules module has been evolving, so it has taken some time before I can start making these screencasts, and now I also have the time to do it, and that's great. I hope you find them as fun to listen to as I find them recording. I call this Learn the Rules Framework, this series. I got a tweet from Morten in Denmark saying it should be called The Rules of Life. Rules is an important module, definitely. Maybe not that important though. Sorry, Morten. Right, so this is an empty site. Some standard modules are enabled, like the admin menu that I find useful. I've turned off the overlay, I've turned off the dashboard, things like that, to save some time on this pretty small screen. This is the module filter list that is really useful. If I type rules here, I get the matching modules on my site. If I click rules here, I get the 3 modules included in the rules project. Rules is the engine running all the rule stuff on your site. I'm going to comment on what these actually are in a moment. The rules UI you will need as soon as you want to change anything in these rules, do configuration. It's a pluggable interface, so you can theoretically write your own user interface. on top of the rules engine, which might be a fun experience or interesting experiment. As you will see here, it requires the entity API project and 2 modules in it, so I'm going to enable those as well. Then I'm going to have a cup of tea. Right, so then what is this rules thingy? Rules is a framework for managing reactions or automating reactions on your site. Drupal has, well, there are a lot of action functions in Drupal, in the Drupal code, and rules is a way of calling these action functions along with the parameters they need when you want to call them. There is in Drupal core a module called trigger that allows you to do simple follow-up actions when certain events occur on your site. You could say that rules is an extended version of this. That would be like saying that the views module is an extended version of the taxonomy list pages. It's technically true, but it doesn't really cover the full extent of it. Rules allows you to configure very flexible conditions and actions. It allows you to, well, these actions and conditions to work with other parts of your site, so other modules can reuse them and things like that. As we'll see in this screencasts, in this first one I'm just going to show you a very simple so-called reaction rule. If you want to configure rules, you don't go into structure. This is the exception to many other things. Usually the fun parts in Drupal are found in the structure section here, but rules is found under configuration. At the bottom, workflow, rules. You end up at a list of all the active reaction rules on your site. I'm going to add a new one. We don't have anyone right now. I'm going to create as an action that when I post a new article, displays a link to create another article. So I won't have to go through create content, click article, create new one, if I want to create a lot of articles at the same time. I'm going to call this link to create another article. Get a machine name here that you can edit. You can add tags if you have a lot of rules on your site, which you might have. Then you want to have tags, just like with views. If you have a lot of views, you probably want to categorize them in one way or another. Then, pretty important thing, the React on event thingy tells Drupal when this rule should be fired. You have quite a few things to choose from. New modules that you install can bring new events. You can code yourself. If you look at the coding rules plugins screencast series available at NodeOne.se /learn-Drupal, you'll find a screencast series about writing rules plugins. We're going to have a closer look at this later on. Right now I'm just going to pick the ones called after saving new content, because I want this to happen when I save a new article, not when I have edited existing ones. Right, save, and the rule is created, and I'm put it forward to its editing screen. It says you have one event that this one reacts on after saving new content. You can add conditions. I'm going to wait with doing that. Instead going to actions, where it says you have no actions right now, but you can add if you want to, and I do. This link I want to display, I'll just put out as a standard Drupal message, and I'm going to show you these actions later on, not all of them, but we're going to browse through them and talk a bit about them. Right now I'm just going to scroll down to the system here and the one called show a message on the site. And I'm going to call this message click here to create another article. And then I'm going to make this into a link with a hypertext reference. Here we have replacement patterns. which is one of the cool things, really cool things with rules, how it works with replacement pattern and also what we call data selection. That's the really cool part. We're going to look at that in the next screencast, not right now. Right now you can consider this just simple tokens. I'm going to scroll down here and take my I'm actually gonna take the site URL to start with, because I have some funny stuff up here in my URL. It doesn't really fit to just have the internal path right now. The rules will be a bit confused, or Drupal will be a bit confused about that. So I'm going to take the site URL, which will bring me here, and then node add article. Click here to create another article. I could actually take this one out and replace that with the machine name of the content type. Let's actually do that. It makes sense. Like that. And then I could change this one as well. But I won't do that right now. Save. Alright, so now I have a rule here, a reaction rule, that reacts when new content has been created. Then it will, regardless of anything at all, show a message on the site that contains this thing here. So let's try this. I'm gonna add a piece of content. Let's close this one for now. I'm gonna create an article. Let's call it Node1 just for the sake of it. Let's give it a few tags, body, no image right now, and save. Aha! And it says click here to create another article. That's great. And it links to node add article. If you see down here, node add article, and if I click it, I can create another article just like that. Sweet. However, if I create a basic page, I get the same message. Click here to create another article, and I don't want that. So I'm gonna add a condition here as well, restricting this action to only react when I create articles, not basic pages. So I'm adding a condition. What kind of condition? Here again we get a list of different things that we can see, choose from. Other modules can extend this list, and we're going to have a look at it later on. I'm going to select the content is of type, because I want to look at the content type. And here we see what kind of content, which content you want to look at. If I click here or just click here, I get some kind of explanation of what I'm looking at here. The node is the created content, great. This is a data selection thing. That is one of the things that are really cool about rules. Well, the node should be an article. Save. Alright, so after new content is saved, if we have an article, show a message on the site. Let's try this. I'm gonna add another piece of content, a basic page. The hello world. It's a good title. Maybe that should have been the first one. Save. I get no message. I only get this page has been created. Add content. Create an article. Article 2. Beta, gamma, delta, perhaps. Insert double ellipse, no image right now, and save. Aha! And it works. Alright, so these are the basic principles of rules. You have an event occurring on your site, such as after saving new content. You can have a number of conditions that must be met if in order to execute the actions that you have, and then finally you have a number of actions that you execute. Yes. So in the next screencast we'll look at data types and the data selection things that are really interesting in rules. That's one of the major changes between Drupal 6 and Drupal 7 for rules. The rules framework module or project, I think, has been more or less completely rewritten between 6 and 7, which is quite an effort. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you in the next screencast. Until then, goodbye.